Hi everyone. So I'm just gonna run through a quick video on how getting organized can actually help ease your anxiety. Now, a lot of people don't readily recognize the connection between your environment and how you think and how you feel, even your ability to be creative. So, many of us experience anxiety more frequently nowadays than people did in the past. Part of the reason is what I would call overstimulation. So, we live in a microwave, instant, go, go, go society where we've got a million things competing for our attention. We've got smartphones, whereas back in, even 20 years ago, you could, maybe more than that. Okay. So, like 25, 30 years ago, you could leave home, and if you got a call while you're away, you had to finish doing your thing and then come back and check your messages. Not the case today. So we've got notifications that are constantly going off. It's the phone, it's the email, it's news updates, whatever it is you have set to a notification, YouTube videos. So we have our electronics. A lot of us are familiar with being in complete darkness at night, trying to fall asleep, but you've got the bright beaming light of your phone next to you, or you're reading in bed, or you're watching a YouTube video to fall asleep. I am guilty of these things as well. I am not passing judgment. But in addition to those things that compete for our attention, there's also sort of inanimate visual clutter that also kind of subconsciously takes away from your attention. It drains your energy because your brain is constantly processing all of these objects that are in your room or in your workspace or in your entire house, whatever your case may be. And so that is where organizing comes in. So let's say you are in your bedroom, and for a lot of people, there might be clothes on a chair. The dresser top may be full. That's a common one I hear a lot. Um, you may have clothes on the floor, things that didn't quite make it into the hamper. You could have an overflowing bookshelf. So as soon as you enter a room, or even if you're just sitting there, your brain is processing. And if you're in a cluttered room, your brain might be going into overdrive, constantly evaluating and taking in data about everything that is surrounding you. It's not an active process, but it happens at the subconscious level. So a lot of times your brain is kind of like on a hamster wheel, and you don't even notice that, like, all these things are placing such a huge demand on your mental energy. And that explains why you may feel extra drained when you walk into a cluttered room, especially if it's your cluttered room. It's not just the thought of, oh, I have to do something about this room, but also, like, your subconscious mind is probably tired because it's like trying to make sense of everything. And that's also why open space is actually conducive to creativity. So, artists and creatives can be inspired in a variety of ways, but you do at some point need open space to kind of give you that blank canvas to work with and stimulate your imagination and allow you to sort of work out all of the creative inspiring things, creative stimuli, I was going to say, that you've been taking in. And that is why if you have writer's block, it may be helpful to just go into, like, maybe your most neutral room in the house, or to go somewhere peaceful. That's kind of why nature helps some people. Like if you're in an open field or at the beach where there's just ocean in front of you, or like in the woods, um, where you've got sort of the same color scheme going on. It helps because it allows your mind to kind of decompress, and there's not so much that you need to process, compared to going into a room that's cluttered, or again, especially if it's your room. And not only is there clutter that is that your brain has to kind of interpret and assess every time you walk in, but you also have the emotions that are attached to that clutter. You also have the obligation that you feel to do something about it. So, getting organized not only alleviates that sense of obligation, it not only helps you feel accomplished, like you have done something to help yourself, you've completed a task that's been on your task list for a while, but it also just gives your brain breathing room because it's not being constantly bombarded by all these visual cues and objects that signal certain things. So you can work with a professional organizer to get your space to a place where you've got the breathing room you need where things are in a place where not only are they aesthetically beautiful and not overpowering your senses, but they're also logical and intuitive. For example, you know where things go. I always work with people on their morning routine and try to organize in such a way that they can kind of flow through their morning and through the rest of their day in a way that makes sense so that they're less inclined to put things in a place that might contribute to clutter, and also to eliminate that frustration of not being able to find your favorite shoes or forgetting where you put your keys. So the idea is you put a system in place that is compatible with your habits, and then you, after working through that system a few times, like walking through and going through a few days of getting dressed, of putting your things where they go, it becomes natural, and it's something you don't even really have to think about, and your place maintains its state of orderliness. So that's all I'm going to say about that for now. But if you do suffer anxiety and you know that your space is kind of like not what you would consider ideal, or if you just feel kind of overwhelmed in your workspace or at home or wherever you go, as long as it's a place that's under your control, meaning you can rearrange it. You can't go to your friend's house and, well, you could go to your friend's house and um get them a professional organizing session as a gift or something. But I was going to say, in your own spaces, consider calling an organizer, getting a consultation, and seeing if things can be rearranged in a way that will kind of put you at ease and help you avoid feeling so anxious and overstimulated. So, having said that, I'm going to end this video. It's just a short one on a little topic that many, many of us can relate to. So, I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care and be well. Bye now.